All right, so we're gonna start a new segment here. We're gonna do, and it's called the Legend Look Back. Um, every so often, maybe every episode, maybe every other episode, we're gonna look back at an NBA legend, and we're gonna analyze his career, and we're gonna try to answer the question: does this legend get the respect he deserves? Is he overrated or is he underrated? And so this is gonna be the first one. So Easy, tell the people who we're gonna look back on today.
Our first legend that we're going to look back at is probably one of the most debated legends of all time. Some people, you ask the older generation, they put him as the best player ever. You look at this younger generation, a lot of the younger generation says he's overrated and he didn't play against a lot of competition. So the first legend we're going to look at is the great Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain chain dangling. Wilt Chamberlain, the legend. Hey, love, I'm gonna let you go first. Do you think Wilt Chamberlain is underrated or overrated? Because I'm gonna talk nice about my guy.
Man, I think that he is underrated, man. Definitely underrated. A dude that averaged 30 points, 4 assists, 22 rebounds, shot 54% from the field for a career. 7'1" center, uh, strong. Everybody, the stories are how strong he was. I think he's underrated, man. Because like you said, a lot of younger guys they talk about the air. They think they know air so well, but they really don't. Will played against Bill Russell and those great Celtics teams, plus the host of other talented teams, and he dominated. He stood out. Two championships. He's the only center to lead the NBA in assists. That shows his versatility. I think that Wilt does not get the respect he does today. A lot of people say Shaq will kill Wilt. No, not at all. Apparently, Wilt was quicker as Shaq and just as strong as Shaq was. My man Wilt. There's a thing that's out there that talks about how he used to train and lift weights with Arnold Schwarzenegger. So he's just a crazy athlete, man. And if he was given, the chance to play in today's game, he's born today, I could probably see him playing in the league today. So yeah, I think Wilt is a great. I think he's in the top five greatest player of all time category, if not the top three. So yeah, I think he deserves the credit he has gotten. I think he deserves more, man. But what's your perception of Wilt still, man? What do you see when you look back?
Wilt, Norman Chamberlain. I just looked up his full name. Wilt the Stilt, man. I'm gonna be honest. When you go back and you look at Wilt, Wilt might not just be the greatest athlete in the NBA of all time, but he might just be the greatest athlete ever.
Mm.
If we was to have like a fantasy draft of all the players in NBA history, I'm picking Wilt first.
Oh,
Wilt will be my first pick. Wilt was 7'1". They say Wilt ran a 4'6", 40.
wow.
You know who else runs a 4'6", 40?
Who's
They
that?
say LeBron James and Michael Jordan ran a 4'6".
Wow.
They say he has a 40+ vertical.
Wow.
Wilt was a track star. They said at age 50, Wilt was still benching around 400 to 500 pounds.
That's crazy.
They say Shaq at his prime was benching 450. So Wilt Wilt will kill Shaq. I'm
Oh
just gonna
yeah.
be honest with you.
Oh
He
yeah.
would kill Shaq. And I want you youngins to go look at video of Wilt's athleticism. There's video footage of him running down the court. I mean, and if he was born in 1990, you could see
Yeah.
him in the NBA doing the
Oh,
stuff that Giannis do.
dominating. He's a. I'm gonna go out and say it. He's a better Giannis. Um, because apparently he can shoot. He said he could have averaged more points, but he was he was actually such a gifted passer, and he looked to incorporate other teammates and stuff. They said he could
Yeah,
have
at the end of his career, yeah.
more points than what he could have, what he ended up with. But
He was a bad free throw shooter, and they
he
said he
was a
missed out.
horrible
Like
free throw
they
shooter.
said, he missed out on like what I want to say around 2,000 points just off missed free
Good
throws.
Lord, man. I wish
Yeah.
I wish I'd go back and work on my free throw game like when I was playing, man, because like it's harder than it looks,
I know. Yeah, ask
man.
LeBron, but no, yeah, no, but Wilt was a top-notch athlete. You know, a 7'1", ran a 4'6". They say he had at least a 7'8" wingspan. His hands were
Crazy.
bigger than Kawhi's.
Crazy.
Um,
Crazy.
and I heard something recently. That said, at age 50, the New Jersey Nets, tried to get him a contract, offered him a contract to come back and play.
At
At
the age
age
of
50,
50.
he was in that type of shape.
That's crazy, man.
And
Hey,
let's not forget, one last thing. He was balling for the Harlem Globetrotters too.
yes. True ambassador of the game. If you go ball with them brothers and you're from the mainstream, you have submitted to your legend. If
Right.
Mike today would walk out and jump into like a Harlem Globetrotters jersey and play like just a 2-city tour with him, I would stop ever saying LeBron will be better than him. That's all it takes. That's all it takes, man.
Yeah.
You know what it made me think, man, is that a lot of Wilt, I think, had 2 championships, but he has a lot of final losses, and a lot of people looking back, they'll always say Wilt wasn't even better than Russell, and Russell had the advantage of those way more talented team, Hall of Famers, man, and made me think how that could sort of be like LeBron's story, Will LeBron's legacy be like Wilt's, where we look back, or a lot of people look back and use that finals record and losing all the time to one guy and one team as a hit and knock to his legacy. So would that hurt LeBron's legacy later on?
Uh, I don't know now, because I think LeBron's situation and Will's situation is different, because when you look at the Boston Celtics in those days, they had Hall of Famers coming off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
And then those series are a lot closer than what people like. A lot of them series were game 7s, and they were within 1-2 points, a few points here and there. So a couple possessions,
Right.
Go Wilt's favor. Wilt has 4 or 5 rings, compared to 2. And now we're looking at Wilt as the legend. We're looking at Wilt as the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's what hurt Wilt. But then, like I said, once you look back at those series, those Boston series were a lot closer, and he had less talented teams.
Yeah.
So, Wilt Chamberlain is definitely underrated. I used to say that young stuff too. Like, yeah, he played against, but nah, you look at the measurables, and you look at what he went through. Against the Boston Celtics, Wilt is definitely underrated.
There is a lot of people talk about how they say he was like the biggest. He played against small people, and everybody was small in the league. Steve Smith wrote an article back in 2009. Basically, he was real thought out article where he actually says that Wilt Chamberlain is the greatest player of all time, but he makes a cool, nice little argument, and he touched on that one as being like the main. Him playing in the league with small players, and he lines out like the height of all the players that Wilt played against. You see, the league wasn't as small as we like to look back and think back in the day, and so yeah.
There were some other big man. You were Wes Unseld, with Nate Thurman, Russell, Kareem.
The article is called "Greatness Revisited: Why Wilt Chamberlain was the greatest NBA player ever." By Steve Smith. So y'all check that out. It's a cool article. Kind of, gives a little bit of credence what we're saying here. So check that out, because Love and Eezy do their homework before we talk about stuff to you people.
For sure.
So
shout out to Gucci Man. Wilt Chamberlain, chain dangling.